Ancient superweapons we still can't recreate. When you think of ancient warfare, what comes to mind? Swords, spears, maybe some big wooden shields. Well, what if I told you that some ancient civilizations were packing heat so advanced? It sounds like science fiction. We're talking about everything from naval flamethrowers to city defense systems that could literally pluck ships from the sea. Some of these weapons were terrifyingly real, while others blur the line between history and legend. But they all have one thing in common. They were so sophisticated that even with all our modern tech, we're still scratching our heads. We like to think of history as a straight line of progress where each generation gets smarter and more advanced. But sometimes knowledge gets lost, and few lost technologies are as captivating or as deadly as these weapons. These aren't just rusty swords and broken spears. These are feats of engineering and chemistry that challenge our assumptions. They prove our ancestors were far more ingenious than we often give them credit for. So today, we're counting down 5 ancient superweapons we can't quite duplicate, uncovering lost secrets of a violent, brilliant past. Coming in at number 5, we have a weapon born from paranoia and genius, the so-called universal antidote, Mithridatium. In the ancient world, poison was an assassin's best friend. It was subtle, deniable, and incredibly effective. For one king, Mithridates VI of Pontus, who lived in the 1st century BC, this threat became an obsession. Fearing he'd be poisoned, a reasonable fear for a ruler back then, he started a strange and dangerous daily ritual. According to ancient writers like Pliny the Elder, Mithridates began taking tiny, non-lethal doses of poisons every day. He was trying to build up an immunity, but he didn't stop there. He was also on a quest to create a master antidote. The resulting formula, named Mithridatium, was legendary and said to contain dozens of exotic ingredients. The recipe was so prized that when Pompey the Great conquered his kingdom, he supposedly nabbed the formula as a top spoil of war. The legend inspired later Roman physicians like Emperor Nero's doctor, Andromachus, who developed his own antidote, theriac. So why can't we just whip up a batch? First, a single, universal antidote is seen as impossible by modern science. Different poisons attack the body in wildly different ways. More importantly, the exact original formula is lost. We don't know the precise ingredients, proportions, or preparation methods. It remains a testament to a lost mastery of toxicology. At number 4 is a weapon that introduced a terrifying new concept to the battlefield: rapid fire, the Chinese repeating crossbow. Picture this: a line of soldiers armed with crossbows that don't need to be painstakingly reloaded one shot at a time. Instead, they can fire off a volley of 10 bolts in under 15 seconds. That was the power of the repeating crossbow. An invention traditionally credited to the brilliant 3rd century AD military strategist Zhuge Liang, though archaeological finds suggest it may have existed centuries earlier. Its design was brilliantly simple. A boxy magazine on top held a stack of bolts. A single lever action did all the work. Pulling the lever back drew the bowstring and dropped a bolt into place. Pushing it forward fired it. Now, it wasn't a perfect weapon. It traded power and range for that incredible speed, so it wasn't great against heavy armor unless the bolts were tipped with poison. Its psychological impact was huge. A small group of soldiers could unleash a hail of arrows that would terrify and overwhelm an enemy advance. So if we can build replicas, why is it on this list? Because we can copy the weapon, but we can't fully replicate the ancient system that made it so effective. The knowledge of how to mass-produce these weapons cheaply and reliably, and the logistical genius required to equip and train entire units to use them in combat, is a science that isn't fully captured in the surviving artifacts. Our number 3 entry isn't a single weapon. It's the legendary material used to craft history's greatest blades, Damascus Steel. Famed from the early Middle Ages into the 18th century, swords made from Damascus steel were things of legend, supposedly sharp enough to slice silk falling through the air. Yet so tough and flexible, they could bend without shattering. These blades are instantly recognizable by their beautiful, watery swirl pattern known as the damask. For centuries, smiths in Damascus, Syria, held the secret to this amazing metal. They used Wootz steel, imported from India. Through a closely guarded process of forging and heat treatment, they turned this steel into legendary blades. Then around the 18th century, the process vanished. No one knows for sure why. Some think the mines producing the unique ore ran out. Others believe secret techniques died with the last smiths. Modern scientists discovered these blades have a unique internal microstructure. It contains incredibly hard, cementite nanowires. This helps explain their mix of hardness and flexibility. While today's smiths make high-quality steel with similar properties, no one has definitively reproduced the original ancient method. The exact formula remains a tantalizing historical puzzle. Coming in at number 2 is a weapon so wild it sounds like something from a monster movie, the Claw of Archimedes. During the Second Punic War, around 214 BC, the mighty Roman navy sailed to Syracuse, expecting an easy conquest. They were not prepared for the mind of one man, Archimedes. The celebrated mathematician had turned his city's defenses into deadly surprises. According to ancient historians, the most fearsome of these was the claw. It was a massive crane-like beam. When Roman ships got too close, the claw would swing down, grab the ship's bow, and lift the vessel. The result was chaos. Ships were violently overturned and sunk or smashed against the rocks. For the Roman soldiers, it must have felt like they were being attacked by a sea monster. So, did it really exist? That's where the debate heats up. We only have written accounts of historians. Modern attempts to build working models have had mixed results. While some show the principle is plausible, making one strong and fast enough for combat against a moving ship is another matter entirely. We know the stories terrified the Romans, but we don't know exactly how Archimedes engineered it. Pretty wild, right? It really makes you rethink what was possible back then. And at number 1, we have the most infamous and mysterious weapon of the ancient world, Greek fire. Imagine a fire that laughed at water, a sticky, liquid flame that clung to ships and sailors, and, according to some accounts, only burned more intensely when you tried to douse it. This was the terrifying reality of Greek fire, the ultimate secret weapon of the Byzantine Empire. First appearing in the 7th century, this incendiary weapon was credited with saving the capital city, Constantinople, from massive naval invasions multiple times. It was typically launched from bronze tubes on Byzantine warships, acting like ancient flamethrowers. A pressurized stream of liquid fire would shoot out with a roar, engulfing enemy ships in a substance that was nearly impossible to extinguish. Its effect on naval warfare was devastating. It allowed the smaller Byzantine navy to defeat much larger fleets and spread fear across the Mediterranean for centuries. The secret to Greek fire was one of the most closely guarded in history. According to one tradition, the formula was known only to the Byzantine emperors and a single family of chemists. This secrecy was so effective that when the empire eventually declined, the secret was lost forever. To this day, we still don't know the exact chemical recipe. Historians and chemists believe it was a petroleum-based mixture, probably with ingredients like naphtha, pine resin, and maybe sulfur or quicklime. But while we can make modern substances with similar properties like napalm, no one has managed to perfectly replicate a mixture that matches all of the historical descriptions. The specific, devastating formula of the Byzantines went to the grave with the empire. From chemical warfare to rapid-fire crossbows, these 5 examples show us that the past wasn't as primitive as we sometimes imagine. The minds of our ancestors were innovative, resourceful, and, in some cases, capable of creating technologies that continue to baffle us. These weapons are a powerful reminder that history is full of secrets and that we have likely lost as much knowledge as we have gained. They stand as monuments to the lost genius of the ancient world. So, which of these ancient superweapons do you think was the most effective? Or is there another lost weapon you think should have been on this list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed uncovering these historical mysteries, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the past. Thanks for watching.